Now, minority and majority MPs nearly locked up in fisticuff after Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin directed all ministers who are non-MPs to vacate the chamber. The Speaker had gavelled the House into a process of division to vote on the 2022 budget at the insistence of the minority. The debate on the 2022 budget had been concluded with remarks from both the minority leader and majority leader. In his closing remarks, Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu insisted his side will not support the passage of the budget because of the electronic levy on mobile money and banking charges. On the other hand, Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu argued the NDC have no moral right to speak against the introduction of new charges because under the administration they had introduced more taxes. The Speaker had directed all ministers of state present in the chamber who are non-MPs to leave, but the majority MPs disagreed with the Speaker and walked out. This forced the Speaker to suspend the sitting for 5 minutes. We'll go live to parliamentary correspondent Parker Wilson for more on this. Parker, what more can you tell us on happenings in Parliament?
Good people of Impriso, if Asiedu Ketia doesn't walk out of this chamber, nothing will go.
Asiedu Ketia is not going anywhere. Asiedu Ketia is not going anywhere today.
Honorable members on the majority side, everybody should walk out. Let's walk out. Walk out. Walk out. Everybody, rise up and let's go. Rise up and let's go. Rise up, let's go. Let's go. I'm the parliament. I'm the parliament. Let's go. I'm the parliament. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, Speaker. I'm the parliament. Honorable members,
that you must carry the House along. You are not the Speaker for one side of this House. And yet increasingly is beginning to demonstrate that tendency. I mean, his attitude, you also, is that the best? That is, speak well of a Speaker who is neutral. I think this is very appalling. And from now on, we want to signal the Speaker that we are not going to tolerate it. The Speaker himself is not a member of this House. And as I told him the other time, he has no authority to issue any personal order to any minister. These illegalities from now on will not be condoned. Thank you very much. The Deputy Speaker, the Deputy Majority Leader will speak to the critical issues. Thank you very much.
We'll be speaking with our correspondent Parker Wilson for more on this. But we can now go live to Parliament and speak with parliamentary correspondent Parker Wilson for more. Parker, has this confusion been resolved? Hello, Parker. I want you to bring us up to date as to what is happening.
A historic day made by the NDC caucus in Parliament. I mean, under the Fourth Republic, this is the first time Parliament has voted unanimously in rejecting the budget of a government. And this was achieved by the NDC caucus. And Aisha, prior to this, there's been a series of drama. In fact, right at the start of today's engagement, the minority, first of all, held a press conference accusing the majority side of the House of employing some delay tactics to ensure that they get all their members in the House for them to go through the budget process. That was resolved for making an appeal to the Speaker of Parliament to further engage or consult the leadership of the House, i.e. the majority leaders and the minority leaders. But that was the premise for a total chaos and confusion in Parliament. And I'm going to break it down for you for your better understanding. So this happened when the majority leader, Sechem Saboso, asked the Speaker of Parliament to grant the Finance Minister, Kenneth Ofori-Atta, audience with some application he wanted to make. The Finance Minister now advances argument by saying that he has heard the commentary since the presentation of the budget. He has vision on where we are to go as a nation. And it is an appeal that the Speaker of Parliament will grant him the opportunity to engage the leadership. Now, the Speaker decided to subject the appeal to a voice vote. When the voice vote was ruled by the Speaker, indicating that the noes or the MPs have rejected the appeal from the Finance Minister, the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Fenyumakin, then challenged the Speaker's ruling and asked for a division. Now, Asha, here's the best part. Now, that if you want to follow the process, what you have to do is to get non-MPs who are in the plenary out of the plenary. And here we are talking about the Finance Minister, who at the time was in the chamber and not a member of Parliament. And so when the issue was raised, the NPP MPs objected to it, indicating that this is a minister of this government and he has every right to be in the chamber. There was a letter back and forth with the NPP MPs and the Speaker. Then the NPP MPs detected and observed that the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asedi Nketia, was also at the public gallery. So then they mount Nketia as the General Secretary of the NDC. Then Kenneth Ofori-Atta is not moving an inch. So that was where the whole confusion and the near fisticuffs began. In fact, you could see the NPP MPs banging on the table, shouting and screaming, accusing the Speaker of bias. Whilst the NDC MPs were very calm, they had remained calm in their seats, and you could see their leadership asking them to remain calm. After about 10 minutes of disagreement and confusion, the majority leader and the deputy majority leader resolved to stay the walkout. So when they moved out of the chamber, then the other members of the House also followed. So you could see all the members of the NPP side moving out of the House. And the NDC members were also. The Speaker, looking at the situation, then suspended the House for 5 minutes. We do understand that the suspension was to ensure that they get the majority side of the House to come back to the chamber so that they can continue with the business of the day. That is the voting on the approval of the 2022 budget. But that did not amount to anything. So the Speaker resumed sitting, I think about 15, 20 minutes. So when he came, now he had to ensure that before Parliament begins any activity, they have to form a quorum. And they need 1/3 of the entire population or the entire members to form a quorum. And if you look at the 1/3, they had the full complement in the House today. All 137 members of Parliament from the NDC side were all present. So it clearly indicates that the House now has a quorum for them to proceed with the agenda of the day. The Speaker then put the question again as to whether or not the appeal from the Finance Minister should be granted. Well, obviously, the side of the NPP was empty. So when he said those who are in favor for it, say aye, the aye was very silent. And when he put the question about those who are not in favor, say no, you could hear a loud no from the NDC side. So he ruled that, well, the Finance Minister's appeal has been shut down, blocked, rejected, and so they are moving on to the main agenda for the day, which is the approval of the budget. And the leadership of the House, the minority, the approval to a voice vote. Again, when he asked the question whether the 2022 budget policy statement presented by the Finance Minister should be approved by the House, the ayes, of course, the NPP side, were absent, empty seats there. No member of the NPP was seated in the chamber. And so the noes had it. Then the Speaker ruled that, well, the 2022 budget has been rejected by Parliament. And actually, I must say that the fact that the NPP members were not in the chamber at the time the budget was being rejected doesn't mean that it hasn't been rejected. It's Parliament, and I should remind our viewers, in the last election, the 2020 election, when the Electoral Commission brought its budget and the CI for the amendment, the minority is on record. The minority stage walked out. They didn't participate in the vote, and yet the majority MPs approved the CI. And so today, the minority themselves, who are actually the ones backing the budget for 2022, stage walked out from their own budget, and the minority rejecting the budget. That is where we are at the moment. I must say that the minority is elated, they are enthused, they are happy, they are excited about the history they've made today. They believe that this is a day that the Ghanaian people, who, of course, the government had wanted to further impose hardship on them, would be relieved of the hardship. So they have no regrets are rejecting the budget for the year 2022, and that they hope that Ghanaians will know that indeed what they did today, they did it in their own interest. They want the finance minister to go back, prepare a new document, bring it to the floor of the House for consideration. And happening today in Parliament, well, it's been an interesting day in Parliament. Yesterday, the minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, assured us that there was going to be fireworks. Indeed, there has been fireworks today. There has been total drama. There has been a lot of heated exchanges and disagreement, argument amongst the members of Parliament, of course, from the NPP side and the NDC side. So that has been the situation here in Parliament, where the minority has rejected the 2022 budget statement.
I know that the minority leader also addressed a press conference after the rejection of the budget. What has he been saying?
So the minority, essentially, they want to ensure that the finance minister goes back to review the e-levy, the issue about the Ketasi defense project. Actually, you know that wasn't captured in the 2022 budget. The minority wants the minister to go and then capture that in the 2022 budget. Again, the government fees and charges, about 15% increase. They want that to be looked at. And so these are key concerns that the minority has raised, and they want the minister to go and review that and come back again to the floor of the House or in Parliament for consideration. So they are saying that they are not against the budget at all. In fact, the Haruna Iddrisu actually hinted that it would have been best if the finance minister had just taken away the e-levy and assured Parliament of its commitment to make funds available for the construction of the Ketasi defense project. They has remained firm, positioned where he was, and so they have to take the decision and ensure that their constituents who have asked them to vote against the budget, they will essentially do so. So that has been the position. Well, I see K.T. Hammond walking in here. He is from the majority side. He's been there, quite interesting. Let me engage Honorable K.T. Hammond briefly. Honorable, you are on Joy News. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, the 2022 budget is your budget, and you boycotted that. That's very curious.
We didn't boycott it. We had to reorganize a few things. We didn't organize. We didn't deal with that when we come back on Tuesday.
So, in your view, are you saying that Parliament?
The matter is alive. No.
Explain to me, because
Parliament has not. Read my lips. The Parliament has not constitutionally rejected our budget. Full stop.
So what has it done?
Meet us on the floor on Tuesday.
So
Tuesday. What is Tuesday day? Tuesday is what? The 21. Tuesday is what?
Tuesday is somewhere 27th.
27th? Right. Tuesday 27, 28, 29. I don't know what it is. Right. Tuesday 30th, whatever date of November 2021. Meet us on the floor of this Parliament. This House has not constitutionally what is the word you used?
So rejected the budget.
This, underline it. We will be back on Tuesday. Are you listening? Calm down. Don't rush on me like that. Calm down. Just listen. Listen to me. I am saying that this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana has not get the distinction right. You are saying that Parliament has rejected it. And I'm using my words. I'm choosing.
So what has it done?
But that's what I'm saying. Parliament has unconstitutionally rejected it.
What makes it unconstitutional?
Now you listen to me. Right. On Tuesday, I said, mark my word, this budget has not constitutionally been rejected, and we will revisit it. Full stop.
Honorable, our viewers on Joy News, want a better understanding.
They will get everything comprehensively on Tuesday. I am not giving you any more details. Read, man, young man, on Tuesday, I don't care what you disagree with. I said, well, that's fine. We'll deal with that. Sweetheart, I said we'll deal with it on Tuesday on the floor of the House. I mean,
Katie Hammond has been specific that the budget hasn't been rejected. That is his position. Well, we may say that Parliament has rejected the budget, but for him, Parliament hasn't rejected the budget. They are going to revisit the issue on Tuesday when they reconvene for the activities for the day. So, of course, I'm sure we need to have a better appreciation of what the Constitution says about the rejection of the budget, and then otherwise, peace did in the chamber just about 15-20 minutes ago was unconstitutional. And if it's unconstitutional, well, it doesn't amount to anything. So that is the position of the NPP. And this is the senior member of the NPP, Katie Hammond, at Danso Asokwa constituency, and he has stated his position clearly on this matter. So on Tuesday, Aisha, I believe that there will be more fireworks in the chamber, where we will see a whole new twist to this conversation. But for now, we know the 2022 policy document, and I must say that this policy document guides the estimates where government specifically allocates X amount of money for a specific sector, or what they want to do as far as the financing of projects are concerned. So if the policy which guides the implementation of the estimate has been rejected, then the estimate in itself has no legs to stand on. So the entire budget have been thrown out. But Katie Hammond, as we heard him say, that hasn't been thrown out. That is not the case for today.
You heard my colleague Parkwesi Parker Wilson. He's in Parliament and he's been updating us on what has happened with the approval. He says it will be revisited on Tuesday, and he says it's been unconstitutionally rejected. And so we wait to see what happens in Parliament on Tuesday. We're going to go back to Parliament, where General Secretary of the NDC, Anything Goes On, is addressing the press. Let's go there and listen.
Parliament. I have come to sit at the public gallery. I wasn't speaking to anybody. I was sitting there alone. Nobody even flanked me. And so if you just see me and say, oh, I said Nketia must leave, whilst other members of the public were in the public gallery,
the allegation you were there to influence your people. I mean, you could have shouted and know what could have been counted as.
Oh, no. If you shout from the public gallery, everybody will isolate that voice. The chamber can be classified into maybe three. Right. You have the floor of the House.
That's the plenary.
The floor down there. If you are not qualified, you are not an elected member, you can't be there, or a minister of state or a vice president. All other people, or clerks of parliament, all other people must come there at the invitation of the speaker. So you cannot be there. So when there is budget reading, the speaker invites all of us. Ministers of state and the vice president, according to the constitution, can participate in the business of the House, but they cannot vote. Yeah. So when it comes to voting, they have no business in the House any longer.
But I mean, the majority says that the speaker was too harsh on the finance minister.
Why?
I mean, threatening to get the marshal evicting from the plenary. This is the finance minister of this country.
If the speaker orders, and so he is not a speaker of this country. The speaker has ordered, and the speaker's orders must be obeyed. So if the speaker orders that those ministers who are not members of parliament must leave upon the ringing of the bells for a division by the majority themselves. So you have called for a division. When there was a voice vote, did you see Mr. Speaker walking out the ministers? No, they were sitting there and Mr. Speaker took the voice vote. Whether they participated in the shouting or not, nobody knows. But because it is a voice vote, Mr. Speaker did not mind. But if you specifically call for a division, then there is a procedure for division in the standing orders. And it means that the lobbies must be cleared. Anybody who does not have a vote must leave. So that Mr. Speaker will call another voice vote. In that case, then the voice cannot be diluted by non-voters. So he will hear the voices of elected members. If after hearing the voices of the elected members and declaring, if people are not still satisfied, then you proceed to do actual counting. And the counting is done by getting people in the lobbies. And then when the no gate is there and the yes gate is there. So when people are entering by the yes vote, you write their names and mark them.
You do the counting from there.
Then you do the counting, and the counting is on record. Their names will be there. So you cannot say that I don't have the right to vote. And when Mr. Speaker, and you have called for that special voting, and when Mr. Speaker says that, but where I'm sitting, how does it, I'm sitting as a different part.
So your decision not to leave,
yes,
I mean, force the majority side of the House to boycott the whole process.
So who?
Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited about that because they were insisting on the wrong thing. In a democracy, when people insist on wrong things and you give in, you are doing appeasement. Appeasement doesn't help democracy in any way. So insist on your right and let them know that they are wrong. They are insisting on a non-existent right. They don't have the right to drive a member of the public away from the public gallery. It is only the Speaker who can order people from the public gallery when he declares.
The Speaker could have done that easily.
Yes,
he could have done that.
Yeah, he could have done that.
He favored you. Is that what it is?
Nobody appealed to the Speaker.
Oh, I saw.
You are appealing to the Speaker.
Right.
It must be, your appeal must have a foundation in the standing orders. You must say that, Mr. Speaker, according to order so and so, nobody should sit in the gallery with a smoke, dressed in a smoke, or whatever. If the Speaker thinks that it is based on the standing orders, he can then make an order. But you just get up and you are shouting, I said, go away, I said, go away. It amounts to nothing.
Your side of the House, I mean the NDC, have rejected the budget.
Parliament has rejected the budget. It is not NDC.
Well, Ketia Amon disagrees with you. He says that's unconstitutional.
Parliament.
You agree with him?
Oh, why? Is this the first time that a side of the Parliament has walked out? Go and look at the records. When, I know big, bills and others that have been passed when NDC walked out of the House. So it is nothing. If you walk out of the House and the House still has the needed, quorum to operate, it doesn't stop the House's business. The House's business continues. So unless they can cite any part of the Constitution or standing orders that says that the numbers that were present were not sufficient to take a decision or something, that decision stands.
And today, there are those who are accusing the NDC of disrupting government business, clearly. And then this is my final question to you, sir.
No, we are not.
You have rejected the budget. You are going to disrupt government business for the year 2022.
We are actually helping government business because government is not a human being. Government is made up of aggregation of appointees. So we are helping the president to know the mistakes that their appointees are committing so that we can together help to correct those mistakes. And then when you are operating, a budget is approved, then we can rest assured that that budget is going to work in the interest of the taxpayers who will be contributing the money. So if anybody says that because you have rejected the budget, it means you are frustrating government, they should go and ask United States of America how many times have U.S. Even not voted to cause a lockdown. In our case, this cannot cause any lockdown because we have rules which provides that when the Minister of Finance realizes at any point in time that the Appropriation Act cannot be done before the beginning of the year or whatever, he comes for a vote on account. That is like advance. So Tuesday, If he thinks that he cannot correct the budget and get it approved before January, he can come Tuesday and ask for a vote on account. And he can be granted vote on account up to March, 3 months. And then there will be sufficient time to correct what is wrong with the budget.
General, thank you very much for your time. Aisha, that's the General Secretary of the Opposition NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, there, and making the point that, well, they are happy, he's excited, that his decision forced the...
Wilson speaking with General Secretary of the NDC from Parliament.
Look,
Did they educate him?
you could have maybe the NDC have about, let's say, 130 or 137, right, as they have now. The NPP could have maybe 120. It will be a minority party. The NDC will be the majority party. Maybe the other parties. If all the other parties decide to join ranks with the 120 to form the majority caucus, the leader of that group is the majority leader.
Yes.
This is commonsensical.
Yes. So to leader.
This is commonsensical. So whoever refuses to accept this,
Yes.
is his own problem. There are no co-leaders in the House. There's only one majority leader.
Yes.
And he's the leader of government business.
Yes.
And doubles up as the majority leader.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the well so soon.